DJI just helped us bikers out by launching a competitor to Insta360, because for the last few years, shopping for a 360 camera has looked like this. Should I buy the Insta360 X5, or should I save some money and buy the Insta360 X4? You thought I was going to say, or the GoPro Max, didn't you? But that was released 6 years ago now, and nobody has been able to match Insta360's 8K resolution until now.
Competition is good for all of us, because at the end of the day, 360 cameras are the only way to capture how spectacular your ride really was. So we all just want the cheapest way to do that.
Today, I'm going to show you footage from each camera, as well as photos, audio, and slow motion comparisons. How they mount to the bike, address their different form factors, and most importantly, touch on their editing software. Basically, everything you care about as a biker, because we don't care which one is waterproof to a greater depth. And then I will leave it up to you to decide which one you want to spend your hard-earned money on. Full disclosure, there is an elephant in the room. I am sponsored by Insta360, but I'm going to own that, not deny it, and probably make jokes about it. But that is why I'm going to try to leave my opinion out of this video. I'm just going to show you footage and let you decide for yourself, because I would be biased. As someone who makes videos for a living, if I buy a camera, all I want is the best camera for the job. So if that is the DJI for you, you should buy it. And the same goes for the Insta360. Personally, I have bought DJI products in the past. I have their microphones and use them in every video I make. I have one of their gimbals and I love their products and they've never given me any issues. I also really want a DJI drone. And lastly, competition in the market is good for all of us. It will help to bring down prices and encourage innovation. So just because I am sponsored by Insta360 doesn't mean I don't want DJI to succeed or mean that I won't benefit from them succeeding. Also, don't just watch this video if you're trying to pick a camera. Watch other videos as well that aren't paid propaganda.
But on a completely unrelated note, if you prefer how the Insta360 footage looks in this blind side-by-side comparison, Insta360 will include the buttons on the camera for free with your next camera purchase.
Okay, fine. The buttons are always included, obviously. But seriously, look at the colors, the sharpness, the field of view. Decide which one you prefer the look of, and then I'll tell you which one is which in a minute.
Then there are a few notable form factor differences. The Insta360 X5 is tall and thin, and the DJI is short and fat. But the DJI must actually have a lower body fat percentage because it is a whole 17 grams lighter.
Now, if you've ever experienced a mount that slowly droops while you ride, you'll know that a lighter camera has its benefits.
They have similar buttons, removable batteries, although the Insta360 has a bigger 2400 mAh battery than the DJI's 1950 mAh, for a claimed 18-minute shorter potential recording time.
The obvious difference is the screens. The Insta360 has a vertical screen that is half an inch bigger than DJI's horizontal screen. But I have to say that I really enjoyed the horizontal screen as someone who makes horizontal videos. A less obvious difference is the lenses. The Insta360 has replaceable lenses that you can buy and swap out yourself, whereas the DJI has to be sent in, I believe, to get replaced. So if you damage a lens while out filming, your day is over. I believe DJI do offer lens protectors that you stick over the lenses, but from my experience, using lens guards creates reflections that you can see in the video.
The Insta360 also has an LED indicator light on each side of the camera, whereas the DJI only has it on one side.
The other side has an always-on display instead, but that was a bit more difficult to see if it was actually recording in bright sunlight. An internal difference is that the DJI actually has 105 gigabytes of internal storage, as opposed to the Insta360's 0. Obviously, they both accept SD cards, but at least with the DJI, you could do some recording without an SD card. But then again, 8K footage accumulates insanely quickly.
Then, I don't know what category this goes in, but the DJI turns on a lot faster.
But more importantly, if simply hitting the record button from switched off, they start recording near identically. But the DJI makes a lot more annoying noises in my opinion. Wait, I said I wasn't going to include opinions. It is scientifically proven that the DJI makes more annoying noises. I will forget to link the study down below, but it's a real study.
Let's be honest, the R1 would be a much better example for an audio test, but today we're stuck with the stock exhaust on a Triumph. Let's be honest, the R1 would be a much better example for an audio test, but today we're stuck with the stock exhaust on a Triumph.
Recording voices probably isn't the average biker's priority, but it is important nevertheless. However, we do care more about exhaust audio, don't we? Then again, audio at a standstill is easy because there's no wind noise. It's when you pick up speed that it becomes more challenging. So the Insta360 supposedly has a wind guard, so let's hear if it makes a difference. Obviously, I can't give you my opinion here, but to be honest, it's pretty pointless trying to record a stock exhaust anyway. Sorry about that. So let's get back to that blind side-by-side comparison then.
If you chose the footage on the left, congratulations! You don't get free buttons with your next Insta360 purchase, because that is the DJI footage. The Insta360 is on the right because it is the right choice.
I'm sorry, I'll stop.
Now here is a side-by-side while riding. I obviously made sure to have the same settings on each camera. The Insta360 has more color options in camera, however the DJI on the other hand can record 8K at a higher frame rate than the Insta360, which is very important to some bikers. So have you seen enough yet? Can I go on to the next comparison yet? I honestly don't have anything else to say without sharing my forbidden opinion. Thank you. So here's their slow-mo side-by-side. The Insta360 wins this battle on paper, shooting 20 FPS more at 120 frames per second versus the DJI's 100 FPS at the same 4K resolution. And here are photos side by side. The Insta360 captures a whopping 72 megapixel photos. Well, it was whopping until DJI's 120 megapixel photos. And we all know that megapixels are super important for Instagram.
That was a joke, by the way. 6 megapixel photos would look the same on Instagram.
I did have an issue with the DJI while testing, unfortunately. At one point, the one lens started to mist up inside, and you can see it on the footage.
Insta360 had the same problem on their first cameras, but all these years later, they figured out how to stop that happening. It's just one of the teething issues that DJI will have to sort out. Now, I'd heard that this was a potential issue on their new cameras, but I honestly didn't think it would be a problem for me because I live in a very dry climate. But yet, it happened. And it wasn't even raining, and I wasn't even swimming. Mounting a 360 camera to a motorcycle is super important to get the best results. And DJI's approach kind of amuses me because they basically just copied Insta360's approach, which is actually smart. Give the customer what they're already used to.
So both cameras have tripod mounts at the bottom, as well as quick release mounting options.
That means that even though Insta360 have a vast selection of mounts because they've been doing this for so long, most of those mounts are going to be compatible with the DJI as well.
Both cameras can connect to DJI's wireless microphones, but Insta360 also just released their version called the Mic Air. Time is on Insta360's side again with accessories. They have endless options from ND filters that make your footage look as fast as it really was, quick readers to make editing on your phone easier,
and they have a new GPS preview remote that acts as a remote control, records GPS data to the camera so that you can overlay your stats on screen. It acts as a preview monitor and a wireless microphone all in one. The biggest thing to get used to when upgrading from a regular action camera to a 360 camera is learning to edit 360 footage. And this area is also kind of funny because DJI did not reinvent the wheel. Instead, they copied what has proven to work for Insta360. But that did make it really easy for me to jump into either application, throw in a few keyframes and edit a simple video in either their mobile or desktop apps.
DJI have even taken ideas from Insta360 like auto target tracking and been able to use your phone as a viewfinder to decide what is on screen.
So you're 100% able to make a cool video with relative ease in DJI's app. But the difference is that Insta360 have been making and improving their software for 10 years now, and it shows.
They have a lot of AI options from auto tracking and framing to auto editing and cool effects, saving you time and effort to get unbelievable edits.
Now, it should be noted for the camera nerds that the DJI has 10-bit color, whereas the Insta360 has 8-bit. The DJI has a bigger sensor, which comes with the pros and cons of a bigger sensor. But this won't change anything for the average biker. So there you have it. It is awesome to finally have competition in the market. Right this second, Insta360 have the advantage due to their 10 years of experience. But I have no doubt that DJI will catch up very quickly in just a few generations. And this is an incredible first attempt. So let me know which one you prefer the look of, and I'll see you on the next ride.